Hello everyone, I'm glad you're back. So this is my 24 by 48 large format tiles. This is all done and grouted, but I'm going to show you how to do a full at 2-door entranceways. And they haven't put the ductwork in yet, but everything's all cut for the vents. And I'm going to use another piper's bag to put in the cement in there. So what I did was I drew this out first for you. And pretend that's your outer perimeter of the house. So that's your garden door going outside. And that's your entranceway coming into the kitchen. So you have a kitchen and a living area. So what I do is I get my square and I put it against that garden door and I chalk line a dummy line. It's not my tile line, it's just to see how square the room is. And I'm going to put my square on that dummy line. Or first you should check wall to wall for that dummy line on all four walls. Once everything's pretty good, put your square, just give me a second, right on that dummy line. And you're going to strike the same thing but the opposite way. And you're going to check on the opposite walls. Okay. So you're going to dry stack your tiles first. And you're not going to use that dummy line for your guide. It's just to make sure everything is square. And you're going to do the same thing on that front entrance. A full at that doorway and a full at the opposite doorway. Those are my full tile there. At the entranceway for the kitchen. And a full tile at my garden door. Now that last tile there will be my guideline. That'll be my first course from the kitchen all the way through. So just bear with me. And we'll get there. That there, those tiles will be my good line. Long ways and short ways. Those will be my points. That's my true chalk line. So I'll give you a demonstration of what I'm talking about. Good line. And this will be my good tile line as well. What do you think of my AI? It's pretty cool, eh? No AI on my channel. And that's my full. And that's my full there. And as well as a full at the garden door. Okay. So you see that kitchen entrance? That's going to be a full there. So what you should do is you should stack that going all the way through to the living area as well. That there, I ignore that first course. I'm just seeing, usually I would do my cuts towards the under the cabinets there, but we're not going to do that. So I'm going to have a full here as well at the garden door. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to just pick a spot at that garden door and lay it out dry. And I'm using a 1/16 spacers. If you're using clip wedges, use that as well. You're not going to lay this. You're just trying to get your 2 dummy lines first. So you're going to need a grab ball or a suction cup, and you're going to need your breaker for your tiles. Okay, so you see how I have it laid out dry with my spacers? I'm just going to pull a couple of spacers and pull 1 tile out. Be very careful because you can chip the corners, and that's not a good sign. All right, just like that. And just set that aside. Grab your pencil and just mark that line. You're going to grab your square. You're going to go to the garden door, because usually the garden door is going to be a lot more truer than your kitchen, because this is a newer part of the building. Remember, this is an old farmhouse, so in that kitchen, it's not true at all. But it's a lot better here, so I'll take it from here. This will be my dummy line, guys. Grab your chalk line. Make sure you have chalk in there. If you have a friend, it's always good to have a friend to help you out. So just make sure you're on that line. For myself, what I do is I just chalk it a little bit ways, and then I chalk it again, just because it's a little bit easier for me to see. And then continue. Let me just adjust that camera there, help you out. Just take your time with this, because it's very crucial. I believe this room was about 1/4 inch off square, which is really good. That's not bad at all. But the kitchen, that was, I believe, 1 inch off. But I want to use this room because I want to make sure that this is a lot more square opposed to the kitchen. If you got a laser line, you can use that as well, guys. That'll help you out. So grab your tape measure. And what I'm going to do is check from that wall to that dummy line. And like I said, I think I'm off 1/4 inch on the other side. And do the same on this side as well. That's my 1/4 inch off, which is pretty decent. So what you're going to want to do is put your square against that tile, and you're going to chalk another dummy line. Make sure your square is right on that tile, and or actually it's more important to be on that chalk line. So we want to make sure we're going to be square on the other side. Okay. Just grab your pencil again and put some pressure on that square. And there you go. Just make sure that you take your time with this, okay? To get your dummy lines. It's very crucial because once you start laying tiles, you want to make sure you're on your lines. So that'll be my secondary dummy line, like I said before. So I'm just going to move that tile, get it out of the way. And I'm going to use something heavy here to help me out, just to hold my chalk line. Like I said, if you have a friend, by all means, or a laser line, that's good as well, just as good. I do have laser lines, by the way, but it's very rare that I use it unless it's a really, 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 really long run. Let me just adjust my camera here for you. And we're going to strike another dummy line. As you can see on this kitchen, it was off about a ½ inch. So what I use is a straight edge, and it was before, and I used a leveler to straighten out that kitchen, just to help me out when I install tiles. Okay. I'm going to just grab my big level there, and I'm going to put her aside. And I'm just going to check on both sides of the wall and the opposite as well, where the kitchen or the kitchen cabinets are. Like I said, this was pretty bad. It wasn't the worst, but you know, I believe the house has got to be, it has to be over 100 years old. And do the same on the opposite side. You see that front entrance? You're going to do the same thing, dry stack it all the way, and you're going to make that mark on that as well, on your good line. But first, I'll show you how to get the good first line. Remember, always double check 2-3 times. You want to make sure. Yeah, not too shabby. Okay, so I got my 2 dummy lines. You're going to want to leave, remember, about a 1/8 gap on that full tile against the garden door, just for expansion. It is going to be grouted in silicone later. So I'm just going to put my tile on this dummy line. I'm going to put actually another 2 more. The reason why is because I need to get past that the 2 pillars there into the kitchen. I'm sorry guys, I forgot to record doing the full on the kitchen entrance. So that's why I drew it out for you, to help you understand. My apologies for that. But I promise I'll do another video of the same process. Actually, I'm doing one right now in marble. It's an ensuite, so that one I made sure I recorded the whole thing. It gets pretty loud, so yeah, shut that off. Okay. Just gonna move that out of the way. I'm gonna put another tile there, and I'm gonna use my 1/16 spacers. And what I'm doing is I'm getting ready for my good line, my starting tile line. Just make sure you're on the dummy line when you're doing this, all right? You don't want to be off square on that dummy line. So just grab your square and make sure that you're square on that dummy line. Okay, and just mark that. And that's where your next line is going to be another good line. Okay, we're good. So I'm just going to take that one tile out of there. The one builder told me, says, "Geez, Rob, that grab-all suction cup sounds like a cow." So I had that thing going all day. I had another job, and that probably drove everybody crazy. But okay, I'm gonna use my chalk line again, and this is gonna be my good line, guys. And we're gonna chalk it through and through, and we're gonna just check that good line to make sure we're good. And the same on the opposite side. Now you're gonna remember, guys, you're gonna want to dry stack a full at that entrance door on that good line, and you're gonna get a true mark for the other tiles doing the opposite side. But like I said, I drew it out for you, and you can understand it, hopefully. But I do have videos of me doing the same process, guys, from last year. It was a mud room in a garage. It was a full at the entranceway in the mud room, and also at the garage door. So if you're ever looking for that, it's in there. It's a lake house. Okay, so we're gonna chalk that all the way down because it's good on that side in the kitchen. When I'm done my good chalk lines, what I do is I level my first course, and I don't continue. I just do one full course all the way through and through, leveled horizontal and vertical. The reason why I do one course and then I come back the next day is I can put pressure against that first course and nothing will be disrupted. Before I leave though, I'll show you a video coming up. I put a dry tile against that first course, and just to make sure that nothing's veering. So it's a lot easier to have a first course and then come back the next day to start, especially on a long run like this when everything is dry. You can fly a lot faster. And we're going to just check that line as well. That'll be my good chalk line, my secondary good chalk line. Remember, dry stack the same way I did with the garden door on the opposite door and take that mark and chalk that line. Okay, this is what I'm talking about.
Next day.
This is my first course.
And this here is just dry. What I do at the end of the day is I just put it so make sure that I'm following the line properly on this side. Usually what I do is at the end of the day, I put a little bit of cardboard, act as a wedge to make sure that it's pressure against that tile that's right next to this. Just to stay on the line. All right. So what I'm gonna try to do, it'll be a little bit easier now for me to do a course on this side and a course on that side. So make sure your tiles are leveled across and all the way down. All the way down to that fireplace. Okay guys, I'm gonna get started, set myself up with cement, and yeah, I'm gonna start getting going. Come on back and I'll show you what I have the next day. Have a good day.